If we hadn't been 1 month ahead, this season would have been very different. And one thing we were not willing to sacrifice was our giving. Within the last few months, our income changed drastically. And this was due to some unexpected health challenges. We went from a 2 income household down to basically part of one. And in that time, we were walking through these challenges with our health and just other life's events coming up. One thing that remained very consistent though were the bills. I mean, the due dates, it did not change. The amounts didn't change, and some of them even increased. But the income just got inconsistent and it changed. And what I realized very quickly in that was that budgeting could not be about reacting to numbers anymore. It had to be about protection, about faithfulness, consistency, and it had to reflect our values. For us, giving has always been important, as well as maintaining peace. Our faith in God is what grounds us, and getting 1 month ahead allowed us to do both of those things without panic. So in this video, I want to share what 1 month ahead actually did for us and why we are choosing to stay away from the month-to-month budgeting model, and how this one decision has changed the way we handle money, especially when we're in this difficult season. For a long time, we were just doing what a lot of people do. We were just budgeting our expenses month to month and just kind of hoping that nothing unexpected would happen. We were just paying the bills and living life like normal. And then that's when life threw us a curveball. And the things like, we had health challenges. And when this happened, our income changed. The timing of when we received the income changed. And things just got real and a lot less predictable. And while the due dates were the same, the money and the consistency had just changed. And that's when I realized just how fragile month-to-month budgeting really is. I mean, monthly budgeting works. It works until it doesn't, though. When you're budgeting month-to-month, you're in a constant state of reacting. You're watching the due dates, you're checking through your account balances, especially like if the money hasn't already arrived in the account and you have a bill that's coming up. So that just leaves reacting to having to move money around. You're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and you're just doing anything to try and stretch what's coming in right now, just to try to meet that bill's due date and just hoping that the money is going to hit before the bill hits, right? And the thing is with that is that if some sort of unexpected thing happens, you lose a job or you lose income or you can't work the hours that you were used to working and that you're relying on and counting on with the monthly budgeting system to pay for those bills. When those things happen, you're not leaving a lot of breathing room. You're having to react. There's no buffer. Even with us, when we were technically doing everything right, we knew all the numbers, we knew all the due dates, it still just felt like, a little bit of stress. And that's what told me that the method that we were working did not work for us. A budget that only works when life is calm is not a strong budget. That's where getting 1 month ahead came into play for us. Getting 1 month ahead didn't suddenly mean we had more money. It meant the money we had access to was already planned out and finally working for us. Living 1 month ahead simply means that we're using last month's income to pay for this month's bills. And that one shift did change a lot of things for us. Once the bills weren't surprises anymore, you have your variable expenses, but you kind of still have to know somewhat what the bills are. So once we had already gotten to a point where the money for next month utility and all of the bills were already in the account, then we could just start to plan for other events. Our giving could be more joyful, and it gave us space to make decisions rather than reacting to every small change that came up. Every due date, well, the due date stayed the same, but any change in the bill, any fluctuation, anything that came up, we can make the decision calmly. It just allowed us to be more intentional instead of being emotional and frantic, and be more at ease instead of just having anxiety when it comes to our finances and our home life. And I just want to be real clear here. Okay, today I'm not about to go into like spreadsheets or pulling out money and calculators today. But today I just want to explain the concept behind living 1 month ahead with your bills, because once you understand the why you're living 1 month ahead and how it can become a value, then the how becomes much easier. So when I say 1 month ahead, it doesn't mean you're suddenly rich or you can just go on shopping sprees with the money that's coming in this month because the bills are paid already for next month. And it doesn't mean like everything in life is figured out and everything is accounted for. It just means that the money that's in the account that you earned last month is covering what's coming up next month. So you're not having to count on a paycheck that's supposed to come tomorrow to pay for a bill that's also due on tomorrow. That's like living frantically. So this way you give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, give yourself a little time, and you're giving yourself more of a time frame to let the money settle in when it does hit the account, instead of running straight to the bank to cover a payment arrangement that you had to make. And I know because I've been there. And this does matter a lot, because month to month budgeting, it does leave you in that kind of constant state of reacting. And being 1 month ahead just creates a little more ease, and it creates more space. It creates space to think, space to make clear decisions, and to be at ease in the space around us, and to be able to protect what matters most. And for us, what matters most to us is our faith. And we don't believe that stewardship is about fear or control, but it is about being prepared and being faithful and intentional with what's been given to us. And being that God has allowed us to get to where our finances are finally to the point where we can know and to have the bill money for what's coming next month, that's allowed us to plan our giving instead of worrying about where the money's coming from. And then we can make decisions from a place of peace instead of panicking about every little thing that comes up. And that is something that I'm thankful for, and it's something that I want for everyone, especially every woman that's trying to manage their finances and their money faithfully. And they want to manage their money that releases them from having to be in a constant state of stress or having to feel constantly guilty about decisions you've made about your finances. And just being clear, being 1 month ahead, it does not happen overnight, and it doesn't require perfection, but it doesn't mean that life just suddenly gets easy. It is a direction that we're headed towards. It's not a destination, but even moving towards that destination can change just how peaceful and steady you start to feel around your finances. So whether you're working toward being 1 month ahead, or you're just finding out about the concept, or you're just finding out about it, this is something that's very possible. If we can finally get to the place where we're a month ahead on our bills, it's possible for anyone. And once you're committed to working towards that goal of being 1 month ahead, you will see that this really is worth the peace of knowing where you're going. If life continues on the path that it's on, if we wake up tomorrow that we've planned, and we have that space for any curveballs that may come up. Not saying that it's gonna be perfection, but it allows us a chance to be more trustful in God with our finances, and being at peace and at ease, and just being able to steward with what's been given to us by God. And if you're watching this today and you're still living month to month, just being clear, it doesn't mean you failed. I mean, it just means that you haven't had the structure yet, or the support, and making that lifestyle change in your finances. I mean, getting 1 month ahead didn't just magically happen for us or fix everything for us, but it did give us breathing room. And especially in this time of the financial uncertainty that we're in, with these health challenges that we have going on, but it's given us a lot of clarity, a chance for clarity, and being able to just continue in our giving. And in the season that we're in, just being able to be in a state of peace is just something I'm just eternally grateful for this method. If this video encouraged you or helped you to see budgeting differently, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel. This channel is about creating peace with money through simple faith-centered values and budgeting, especially for women who are navigating real life. And if you're ready to start building that kind of structure for yourself, I'll have some resources linked below that I personally use and that I've created to support this approach. And just remember, you're not behind or starting too late. You're just starting to look at a different approach, and that's where the real changes start to happen. Until next time, may your budgeting and home be filled with peace. See you later. Bye.